Hello, good morning, students. Now, in this session, we are going to continue of the last lesson, that is lesson number 9. The title of the lesson is Fundamental Rights, Fundamental Duties, and Directive Principles of State Policy. We have already covered match the following, true or false, fill in the blanks, even some MCQs were there, and one word with the MCQ type, and then section B. In section B, we have already completed first, second, and third question. Okay, now you can just go through the earlier videos to go through the details of the workbook. And now let us begin with question number 4. Okay, on page number 61, you can see it very clearly on page number 61. Yes, there is a first question, question number 4. Give reason. Give reason for what? Right to constitutional remedies is considered as the soul of the constitution. You can see the question in your workbook, and now write down the answer. Right to constitution, you can write the first line as it is and then write because. Okay, write down the same line. Right to constitutional remedies, right to constitutional remedies is considered as the soul. Here you may not be able to see it properly. SOUL, as the soul of the constitution, because, write down here because, and then write the remaining correct answer. What is the reason now? No matter how many laws are framed, 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 or how many provisions are made for the fundamental rights, fundamental fundamental rights, if, इधर if लिखना है, सबको दिख नहीं रहा होगा किसी को, तो if these are not, THESE लिखना है, यहाँ पर स्पेलिंग करेक्शन है, THESE, these are not implemented well, if these are not implemented, IMPLEMENTED, implemented well, comma, then there remains no meaning of such freedom, there remains no meaning of such freedom of right, full stop. Then you can put it in the point number 2 also. A provision, और therefore लिख सकते हो शुरुआत में, a provision has been made in the constitution for the implementation of these rights, and under it a writ, WRIT, a writ in the Supreme Court, in the Supreme Court, can be made, can be made can be made. अब आगे कुछ दिख नहीं रहा होगा आपको, तो मैं उसका डिस्क्रिप्शन दे देता हूँ. कैन बी मेड फॉर द वायलेंस ऑफ, मेड के बाद लिखिए, उधर नहीं दिख रहा है. फॉर द वायलेंस ऑफ, for the violence of fundamental rights, for the violence of fundamental rights. Then write down the third point. These rights have been accepted as the right to remedies, as the right to remedies, और as the right to constitutional remedies ज़्यादा अच्छा रहेगा, as the right to the constitutional remedies. Then fourth point उधर नहीं दिख रहा होगा, वो next page पर आधा लिखा हुआ है. So write down the correct point. Fourth point, the Supreme Court plays an important role in protecting the fundamental rights, in protecting the fundamental rights. और फिर लास्ट में लिख सकते हो, so Dr. B.R. Ambedkar considered फिर क्वेश्चन में, this right as the soul of the constitution, this right as the soul of the constitution. Okay, now in fifth question, move in the fifth question here, all of you. आपके सामने क्वेश्चन, which similarities have been included in the rights to equality. कौन सी similarities है? Okay, then write down the answer. Equality before law, equality before law, ये पहला सिंगल इंटेड कॉमर्स में कर दो उसे. एंड दूसरा लिखिए, इक्वल प्रोटेक्शन ऑफ लॉ, एंड इक्वल प्रोटेक्शन ऑफ लॉ, ये दोनों लिख दीजिए. आर इंक्लूडेड इन right to equality, in right to equality, in right to equality, full stop. Continue करो. According to these rights, no person shall be shown favoritism, clear दिख रहा होगा अभी, shall be shown favoritism, favoritism, favoritism on the basis of color, comma caste, color के बाद caste, comma creed, 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 etc. Full stop. Law is equal to all. Law is equal to all. Law is equal to all. that is from the peon to the prime minister, from the peon to the prime minister, if they act against law, comma, they are treated equally, they are treated equally, and and are bound to the general court of law, and are bound to the general court of law. Okay, now next one, the next section which we are going to jump in, that is section number C. This is the full answer of it may be asked for 3 marks or 4 marks in the exam, so be very careful all of you. Write a brief note on right against exploitation. Write a brief note on right against exploitation. First one, the main objective yes निकाल दीजिए, of the constitution is to see that any person does not suffer, do not suffer exploitation, suffer exploitation. स्पेलिंग करेक्शन कर लेना, EXPLOITATION, at the hands of the other person. Exploitation at the hands of the other person, at the hands of the other person, and to see that, और डायरेक्ट लिख सकते हैं, and exploitation free society, to see that ऐसा भी डाल सकते हो, exploitation free society is established. Exploitation free society is established. Okay, then next continue करो full stop करके. Human trafficking, comma, slavery and forced labor. Human trafficking, comma, slavery and forced labor are banned, BANNED, are banned. Full stop. Next point, the violation of this right is a punishable offense. Of this right is a punishable offense. Full stop. The violation of this right is a punishable offense. Full stop. Illegal trade of children, comma, illegal trade of children, comma, women, 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 comma, forced labor or imposed slavery, comma, work without pay, and all drudgery, DRUGDERY, drudgery system, all drudgery system has to be ended through this right, has to be ended through this right. Full stop. The next, to take work from any person, to take work, नया सेंटेंस नया पॉइंट भी बोल सकते हैं उसे, to take work from any person without paying them or him, without paying them or paying them less, or paying them less than the minimum wages, than the minimum wages, comma, forced or imposed labor, or imposed labor is a punishable offense. Forced or imposed labor is a punishable offense. First stop. Any child under the age of 14, any child under the age of 14 cannot be made to work, 14 cannot be made to work in a factory, comma, mine, M-I-N-E, mine, or any dangerous profession, or any dangerous profession, comma, garage, that is garage, comma, hotel, or cannot be employed, or cannot be employed as a household servant, as a household servant. So under the prohibition of, वहां पर लिखा नहीं है, so under the prohibition of Child Labor Act, these are all punishable offenses. वापस बोलता हूँ, under prohibition of Child Labor Act, under prohibition of Child Labor Act, comma, all these are punishable offenses. All these are punishable offenses. Okay, now let us move on the next page. I just jump in the next page now. Okay, on next page, page number 62, that will be the last page of your lesson, and then we will complete the details. Now there are two important questions, please write them down. What is meant by reasonable restricts and control? What is meant by reasonable restricts and control? Write one by one point correctly. Our constitution has given six different freedoms to all the citizens, to all the citizens of the nation, to all the citizens of the nation. Full stop. Point number 2. Indians are free to enjoy. Indians are free to enjoy these rights. Enjoy these rights completely. These rights completely. Then you can put it in the third point और continue to write the answer. full stop देकर continue भी कर सकते हो, point में भी लिख सकते हो. On the other hand, the fact is, on the other hand, the fact is that we live in a society. We live in a society. So we need to maintain its social structure. So we need to maintain its social structure. To maintain its social structure. Full stop. Hence, comma, although these six freedoms, hence, comma, although these six freedoms are given to the citizens, comma, they enjoy them with certain restrictions, or reasonable controls, and limitations, Full stop. The next point. The Constitution has imposed certain restrictions on these freedom. Full stop. These restrictions are laid to achieve specific purpose. Laid to achieve specific purpose. To achieve specific purpose. Full stop. To see that people do not misuse these freedoms. Then moving to the last question. Give reasons. Right and duties are the two sides of the same coin. In that first one, rights allow a citizen to enjoy. Rights allow a citizen to enjoy, to enjoy the freedom, enjoy the freedom which he or she gets, which he or she gets under the Constitution, under the Constitution. Full stop. On the other hand, on the other hand, duties duties expects that the citizen will fulfill, that the citizen will fulfill the responsibility, fulfill the responsibility towards the nation, towards the nation. First stop. The citizens cannot go to, the citizens cannot go to the extent of, go to the extent of misusing or misusing or damaging the natural resources, misusing or damaging the natural resources like public property, like public property, like public property. Full stop. Next point. Similarly, आप point में लिख रहे हो तो fourth point लिखना ही है. Similarly, comma, a person is free to enjoy. A person is free to enjoy his or her religion, his or her religion, but it is also his or her duty, but it is also his or her duty to respect other religions, to respect other religions. Full stop. Last point. Thus, rights and duties are the two sides of the same coin. Thus, rights and duties are the two sides of the same coin. अब एक चीज और इसमें देख सकते हैं हम, ये जो सेकंड क्वेश्चन का लास्ट पॉइंट लिखा था ना हमने, इसमें प्लीज करके अगर कुछ एडिशनल कुछ बुक्स में दिया हुआ है तो उसमें आंसर कुछ इस तरह से आ सकता है. डू नॉट मिस यूज दिस फ्रीडम, जो यहाँ पर लिखा था ना, यहाँ पे सब लोग देखिए प्लीज, टू सी दैट द पीपल डू नॉट मिस यूज दिस फ्रीडम्स, ये दिया था. उसके आगे आप एक लाइन लिख सकते हैं, मैं डिक्टेट करता हूँ. सर्टन स्ट्रिक्ट रूल्स, ऊपर का क्वेश्चन बोल रहा हूं मैं, क्वेश्चन नंबर 2 का अधूरा आंसर अगर रह गया होगा तो नीचे जगह होगी तो उसमें ऐड करके लिख दीजिएगा आप. सर्टन स्ट्रिक्ट रूल्स एंड प्रोहिबिशंस, certain strict rules and prohibitions have been put in matters, have been put in matters related to maintaining public order, comma, national unity, comma, national unity, comma, integrity, comma, contempt of court defamation, contempt, CONTEMPT, contempt of court defamation, comma, public decency, public decency, DECENCY, public decency, and morality, and morality, comma, or inciting, or incite, INCITING, provoke करना, उकसाना, उकसाना, provoking भी लिख सकते हो, और provoking or inciting somebody for violence, somebody for violence by someone, by someone, etc, etc, कॉमा करके etc, फुल स्टॉप. सो इसलिए मैंने एंड में आपको ये पॉइंट नंबर 2 का जो है, सॉरी, क्वेश्चन नंबर 2 जो था सेक्शन सी का, क्वेश्चन नंबर 2 पेज नंबर 62 का, कुछ बाकी रह गया होगा यहाँ पर, उसका पेज का डिटेल लिखा हुआ नहीं, इसलिए मैंने ओरली आपको बता दिया. Okay, so please write down these points very correctly, listen the video again and again if you don't understand it, and try to complete your workbook in time, please. Thank you and have a nice day.